welcome everyone to the IWM Broadcast Network as we bring to you the iNASCAR Martinsville 250 here at Martinsville Speedway. I'm Rick Souza, joined here in the booth by my co-broadcasters John DeRugis and Ryan Pittman.
Rick, it's a cutoff time here for the iNASCAR guys in Martinsville, and what a better place, to have the last race of basically the season, but right before the championship finale. So this is a big race, a lot of playoff implications here tonight with a lot of these drivers. We already have two drivers advancing into the next round, so that means there are two spots left for the bottom six to be able to make it in and win. You're in, essentially, for some of those guys from fifth on back. So right now we got about 2 minutes left of practice before we get to qualifying, but we got a friendly guest up in here, Mr. Ryan Pittman. Ryan, how are you doing tonight?
How you doing, John? I'm doing well.
All right, well, it should be interesting. We've got, again, 250 laps here at Martinsville. This is affectionately called the paperclip, but it is flat. It is, as you're watching that 17 car go around, it is easy to just to spin the car.
It is, and we've seen. Go ahead, Ryan.
I was gonna say this is like one of my favorite tracks for real life watching racing, but I tell you, on iRacing, this is one of the toughest tracks to get around with, just especially with people around you, because it's so tight. And iRacing sometimes doesn't get things quite perfectly with like netcode and stuff, and it just makes it incredibly difficult at times to get around here. But such a great track. Always a pleasure to come out here and watch a race. I was up here at September for a late model race watching, but certainly one of my favorite places to watch a race, and I'll be excited to watch a race tonight.
Yeah, these cars are really tricky, I think, on this track. They just don't have in my opinion, they don't have the same grip. It's really easy to lose it, especially here on iRacing.
Yeah, it sure is, and we've seen, the grip as the 72 got loose out of turn 4 there. We've seen a lot of spins tonight, and that's where, heavy braking, brake bias is going to matter, and so will all of these guys' patience here, as 250 laps at Martinsville. Not an easy feat. It takes a lot out on you, so we'll see how these guys prevail. Just about 30 seconds left until we get qualifying. Yeah, take a look on board right now. See what it looks like driving around Martinsville Speedway, one of these Cup cars.
Yeah, and he's making it around in third gear, so that's very interesting. But it wouldn't surprise me if we do see some shifting, which also lends to the complexity of this. But we're actually on board with Martin Giroux. He's making it around in third gear. He may just stay here. All right, that's the end of our practice session. And hold on, we're gonna get a little bit of a blurb. All right, it's time to go qualify. And we were just watching Martin Giroux. We'll stay with Martin as we watch his qualifying laps.
Yeah, I think qualifying is going to be really important for this race. I mean, just with the complexity of getting out front and just staying out of trouble, If you can get up there, stay up there, and stay out of the trouble in the back, I think you'll have a good shot at the win. Really, it's just all going to be about attrition for this race, honestly. But
for sure.
So speaking of that, I guess we'll keep watching Martin's qualifying attempts here. But let's talk a bit about what the race info is here on the track.
All right, so we got 250 laps here at Martinsville with a stage break at lap 84. Choose rule in effect for the leader, and with those 250 laps, you have one fast repair, 50% fuel, which means you will have to come down pit road more often than 100%, and 6 sets of tires. So that includes the one on the car. So they have 5 sets of tires in the pits. Track temp at 80 degrees, nice 66 degree air here today at Martinsville. So fairly cool day. Nothing too harsh on these guys out there right now. But Rick, it looks like We have Jordan Winsel. Well, there's Whitley spinning and basically barely tapped the wall. So you got Winsel at the top of the board, followed by Bennett, Bunch, Brogdon, and Jeffers. Those are all playoff drivers.
Well, speaking of that, we haven't talked about the fact that this is the final cut race to qualify to be the top 4 that head into next week's finale with this league. So what we've got, let's bring up the current point standings. And there you have it. Corey Bunch sits on top with 2 wins already. He won the 2 previous races. Jeffrey Brogdon, he's in because he had enough points to cover himself. But those last 2 spots held by Jordan Wenzel, he's close. And Travis Bennett, they're close. But there's still an opportunity for Eric Jeffers, Simon Magden, and Michael Whitley. I don't think Jay Schultz actually made tonight's event.
Yeah, still looking at the board. You got one guy, Mr. Douglas there in P6, kind of ruining the crowd of the top guys in the chase. But shout out to him for sure. But yeah, you see all the guys that are in this playoff championship battle going to be started at the front. So we got to kind of see, are these guys going to be kind of smart and just kind of take it easy at the start, just kind of know we got to kind of work together and make it to the end, or we're going to see some tough battles here at the front? I'm curious. Oh, man, looks like another car is going around off of 4.
Yeah, that's Jonathan Davarskas.
We'll roll with it. Mr. Jonathan.
It just may be that way. We'll see how it goes. Well, that's pretty much qualifying is pretty much wrapped up with all the drivers. So we'll just count down to how much time is left on the qualifying window. They usually run a small practice session, but really that just gives us an opportunity to talk a bit about this league. We've covered all of their playoff cut races this season, and it sure has been a blast doing so.
It's been fun to watch. I mean, these guys put on a show week in and week out, and the championship battle, even though it's been led by some of the same drivers all season long, I mean, some drivers nearing almost double-digit wins in the regular season, it was a fierce battle all the way through the field. So, Josh Douglas up there in 6th, we've had him in the playoffs and being up there battling for races, week in and week out. So it's not a surprise he's up there. Obviously, he's not in the round of 8, or possibly going to be obviously in the championship 4. But Douglas is a name to pay attention to. Watch out for Giroux. I mean, he didn't run that great of a qualifying lap in 14th, but I think, guys, this is going to be like you were saying, Ryan. You just got to be patient. You got 250 laps. You can't win it in turn 1, but you can lose it in turn 1 here, depending on how you play your strategy. They do have one fast repair. But it's going to be a wild night at Martinsville. Well, I guess day. It's not nighttime. Wild afternoon in Martinsville. Here we go. So we got a warm-up, 5-minute warm-up here. Drivers meeting, basically. But should be underway anytime soon.
Well, I think we can see if we can bring it up. Now, we'll have to wait until this qualifying is well, not qualifying. This practice session, is up before we can bring you the official starting grid. But that should happen momentarily. But so we've just got it's just been a blast, I think. And we can also say to those who are watching tonight, we are broadcasting the 2024 season with this league next year, and we'll do every race. So it's going to be a full-time. Our Thursday nights. The IWM Broadcast Network will bring you the iNASCAR League starting in January through the entire season.
It's going to be fun. I can't wait. I mean, watching some of these guys and hearing some of the stats earlier in the season, Rick and Ryan. I mean, I forget. It was either Brogdon or Bennett. I can't remember who it was, but somebody was close to like 10 wins in the regular season. It was ridiculous. So, we'll see if that domination continues, into the next season, and see if that's something that these drivers can maintain, or if maybe a new face comes up. Because we've seen series that we host or we broadcast, guys, that we've had a lot of leveling out, and Tech for Troop Cups. We have, this is our third season, and this season has been the most competitive yet. So we'll see what happens next year for the iNASCAR Racing Series.
Yeah, just to bring up those facts, Jeffrey Brogdon he was successful as winner of 9 races, but Corey Bunch was right there too. He won 6. Jordan Wenzel won 4. Travis Bennett won 7. So the guys who are right here at the end, there's a lot of from their camp. So this should be a very interesting race. And then next week we're at Phoenix for their finale. With the top 4, but hope we have a good turnout for that as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, what is that, like 20 wins between 4 of those guys? I mean, that's crazy. That's wild.
26, actually.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, dude, as I said earlier, John, math is not this.
Well, Rick.
I know. It's what I do all day, so it's all good.
It is. It's fine. Elliot struggles with math. It happens.
All right, so right now they've got 2 minutes left of this warm up. Basically, it's an opportunity to chill out, to take a few laps if you feel you need to. But right now, pretty much the field is just enjoying their opportunity here at the beautiful Martinsville Speedway in Virginia. So,
people always look at Martinsville as being while it is relatively flat. I mean, the corners, being there in real life, the corners are actually more banked than you would really think they would be at 11 degrees. It's a little bit surprising when you go there for your first time. You're like, oh, it's actually not quite as flat as you might think. But still, just what a cool track. It's been around since, what do you think, Rick? Since, I don't want to say the 40s, but it's been around since the inception of NASCAR. I mean, it's been around since NASCAR was...
Yep.
What year? Did you look it up?
I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, it's been the only track that has been around since the inception of NASCAR, which would have been 1948, 1949. So it's at least that long.
No, you're correct.
47.
Exactly. Actually built in 1947. So.
47. Yeah. Yep. So that's crazy. I mean, it used to be a dirt track. And then you have multiple different surfaces here with the concrete and the asphalt mix. So it's something else. That's all I gotta say. It's something else.
Well, we're
it's
looking
one of those tracks that's, like I said, been around. And you said it's the oldest track in NASCAR, but I think that actually got beat this year as far as running tracks with North Wilkesboro. For the longest time, it was the oldest track in NASCAR that was still running on the Cup schedule, aside from North Wilkesboro, which was built in 1946, I believe. So still just a really cool track. I keep on saying it, but I love this place. It's about 100 miles northwest of where I am, being in North Carolina, and I try to make at least the late model races up there every year. They put on a good show.
Yeah, I always think that the late models or even Welland would just be a blast to watch at this track.
Yeah, they actually have the Welland Tour Mods racing tonight.
Oh, wow.
At Martinsville, yeah. So I was catching a little bit of a glimpse of that before tonight's event. But it looks like, speaking of our event, it has, I see a pace car on track, so we might be getting started here in a second.
All right, let's get the grid up. All right, there you have it.
All right, starting in P1, Jordan Wenzel. In second place, you got Corey Bunch in third, Travis Bennett, and in fourth, Jeff Brogdon. If those names sound familiar, because those are the top 4 in the playoffs right now, all right up there in the top 4. In fifth, you have Eric Jeffers. In sixth, Josh Douglas. In seventh, you have Simon Madgen. And in P8, you have Michael Whitley Jr.
All right, in ninth, Alex Murphy. On the inside, Garrett Walden to the outside, Scott Thomas in 11th, Jason Hale in 12th, Dan Hughes in 13th, Martin Giroux in 14th, Tony Japs in 15th, Martin Pinnell in 16th, Jeremy Briggs in 17th, Eric Thomas is in 18th, and 19th is Jonathan Devronikis. I think I got that right.
There we go. There it is.
All right, we're getting underway here, folks. And again, thank you for tuning in to the IWM Broadcast Network. We appreciate those of you that join us live each and every week. So Jordan Wenzel is the car in charge. He is our pole winner and our leader, and this race will start under him.
I like seeing the all the Halloween paint schemes out there. How cool is that? Just a few days before Halloween, and people brought out the paint schemes to celebrate. Halloween's one of my favorite holidays, I might add too, by the way.
Yeah, I mean,
so I
I'm
gotta love the paint schemes.
Loving the
It's
Halloween
great.
Krispy Kreme paint scheme too. That's with
I'm digging
Corey Bunch. Yeah, pretty cool.
Shout out. I like me some Krispy Kreme too.
That sounds good right now.
Yeah.
All right,
But,
so
looks
with
like we should be going.
with Martinsville, there's always like almost what seems like an extra lap before we go, but we're about to go to green.
Pace cars
All right.
off.
Alrighty, in the Geico restart zone, and we're green flag racing here at Martinsville. High side stacks up a little bit, but you have Wenzel diving down into the turn one. Once he was outside, that 81 of Wenzel takes the lead.
So far, pretty clean as I can see. Kind of all the way back to mid pack. Everybody's kind of kept it together. Race smart.
Oh,
And
car on the
we get a
wall.
car on the wall. I don't know who's in the 9 car.
That's Jason Hale in that Luminar car. Oh, a little bit of contact again, a little bit of
Oh,
bump from behind by Martin Pinnell in the 20.
hard little beating banging going on here. You know, only 3 laps into this event.
So
Yeah,
that being said, this is one of those tracks where, you know, everybody's braking zone is different, and it takes a while to get comfortable with the people you're running around because, you know, they may choose to brake a little bit differently and you're going to wind up tagging their bumper.
Yeah.
Oh, right into the back,
All around.
17 sideways, pile up on the front stretch.
Aside from those 2 cars, I think everybody else came out clean.
Wow,
Which is
that
always
was
kind of
lucky.
scary when you have a car dead sideways on the front stretch.
Yeah, that's the
good
7.
job by everybody else getting around that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Jeez.
17 of Simon Magden. We'll go back and take a look at that yellow flag and see just what happened.
Yeah, I mean, from my vantage point, it looked like we're gonna have a parking lot here 5 laps in, but see what happened with 17 here. Maybe loose out of 4.
Oh,
Yeah.
he just went dead right into the wall.
These cars are so easy to overcorrect, Rick. I mean, this car, there's with practically no sidewall. I know we've been having the next gen for a couple of years now, but especially on short tracks, it's just about more evident than ever. You know, that overcorrection is just so daggone easy, you know, with these cars.
So you've got a couple of drivers who have taken the opportunity to come down pit road. That's the 8 of Josh Douglas, Jason Hale with the 9, and Simon Magden, who was involved in that incident, is now on pit road.
Yeah, fortunately, it looks like I wouldn't expect there to be a faster pair at this point, which it looks like he may have taken a faster pair. With that nose damage, you know, may have some engine implications, but
Yeah, or just
yeah,
take
that's-
the opportunity to top off fuel.
was he one of the ones that was in the incident?
No, I don't think so. I think Josh
Okay.
Douglas was not involved. So,
Okay.
but with 250 laps, you know, you can. It's a long. You've got to have the long game here for sure.
Sure, I mean, strategy play right there. We'll see how that, you know, plays out later in the race. Got to make a note of that right now. But, you know, as it stands, top 4, Wenzel, or top 5, Wenzel, Bennett, Bunch, Jeffers, and Brogdon. Your top 5, and, you know, to your point, Ryan, it's so easy to overcorrect. Obviously, any track in these cars, but on short tracks, and when you do overcorrect, you have really nowhere to go. I mean, the 17 was blocking 2 lanes there, and I mean, great job by the rest of the field, you know, avoiding that. Because let's be a little bit honest here. If that happened in an official race, I don't know how things would have ended up. That's all I'm going to say about that. But you know, shout out to these guys tonight for avoiding the 17 there. Great awareness early on, and that's what it takes to get it done. So Magden, not the night he wanted. He's currently 6th in points, all the way back now in 18th spot. But hey, still anybody's game. Still got over 240 laps to go.
Yeah, it was one of those cars that was involved. He hit the inside wall. We got a pace car off, but it also looks like he did have a black flag. as well. So I don't know if I have to serve that here, but it looks like we'll marine flag here momentarily.
All right, Jordan Wenzel is back in charge, and we are off.
Bit of a slow start on the inside. The outside lane didn't get rolling either. Looks like Mr. Wenzel will have a good little lead coming out of here if he can just keep it clean, keep it smart, and pull away from these guys, stay away from the mess that's behind him.
Yeah, they're still too wide, 2 rows back.
And it does look like Mr. Douglas is on pit road serving that penalty, unfortunately. So that's definitely going to send him down at least a lap, or more than likely 2, right here at the start.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Laps here turn around 20 seconds per lap, and unfortunately to get on and off pit road is almost 40 seconds.
We're right on the front.
That's the 14. That's
right,
Jeff
getting
Brogdon.
Man, that's two playoff drivers. I mean, Brogdon's already locked in, but
Oh, if it wasn't hurt then, it is now.
Well, folks, that's how you.
Well, let's
these
take a quick look at that.
So I caught it out of the corner of my eye, Rick. He was already loose out of 4.
Oh.
And then overcorrected and tried to correct it back, and I think just getting under power, lost it again. He saw the 6 involved, the 42, and a lot of cars in this one.
Yeah, fortunately to note, Mr. Brogdon is in a championship bout, but he is advanced on, as it seems, through points. So, although probably not the start he wants, shouldn't hurt him as far as the championship goes. He should be able to still race for a championship in Phoenix next week.
Sure.
So we're watching a number of these drivers on pit road. Briggs, Thomas, Hughes, and Brogdon all were involved in this. That should help Josh Douglas maybe get a lap back.
One thing that you were just mentioning, Ryan, he is locked into the playoffs, but momentum matters in the playoffs, and especially one more race to go. You want to carry momentum into that championship race, and if you have a bad week, and let's say you're out of this race, obviously, let's say Brogdon, obviously he's in, but if he ends up not finishing this race, sometimes that can stick with some drivers. Sometimes they get a little bit of a funk and say, okay, what's going on? And that momentum and that mindset kind of shifts a little bit to a little bit more of a conservative mindset. So, some people may say, oh, it doesn't matter what he does in this race. Well, I think mindset-wise, it could really carry over into the next race. Now, he's one of the most talented drivers in this league, of course, but still, momentum and consistency matters, even if you're locked in. So,
if you're watching the race and see those red banners on the windshields of the cars, those will indicate that they are playoff drivers, and that'll give you a good idea where your driver is standing currently right now. Well, it's our second caution of the night here at Martinsville. Again, we appreciate you tuning in to the IWM Broadcast Network, where we try to bring you some of the most exciting and fun iRacing events and leagues. We bring you on Wednesday nights. Well, right now they are on hiatus till the start of the second season. That is the Tech for Troops Cup Series, and then on Thursday nights, we'll be here tonight and again next Thursday for their championship finale.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Phoenix. Phoenix is a really, really fun track. It's a tough track on iRacing again, but honestly, it's such a fun track here too. The way you kind of get loose off the corner and have to throttle it. I'm a short track racer. I love short tracks. It's kind of my thing, but I look forward to seeing next week and seeing these guys put on a show at Phoenix.
Well, I mean, with iRacing and I think really in real life, short track racing takes a ton of skill.
Oh, absolutely. Looks like pace cars once again off pit road, or off the track. We're going green once again.
Ooh.
Yeah, so a little bit of a stack up on that inside line.
That door opens there for the 12 to get underneath the 01. See if he's able to make that pass. Looks like he will be able to make that pass. And maybe a crossover coming. Nope, not enough. So the 01 of Travis Bennett drops to 4th.
So definitely a lot of positions changing here just behind them. That's a battle for 6th, 7th, and 8th here with Scott Thomas in the 79 car. He's got Michael Whitley Jr. on his tail, also a playoff driver.
And looking at these lap times, Corey Bunch actually has the fastest lap of the race right now at a 19.35. The next closest driver is the leader of Jordan Winsel at a 19.49. So fastest car on the track has been the 93 machine, a bunch.
Just looking back to the field as we're watching these drivers make their way back up, looking like they've kind of settled into a nose-to-tail approach here. You know, this track, it's hard to pass. You got to wait for a mistake.
Or you could use a bumper.
Or speaking of that, I think that was the 20 car of Martin Bennell that was just a little bit out of shape.
A little loose for sure.
And you saw the 9 car of Jason Hale trying to figure out what he's going to do, where he's going to go. 20's high.
Yeah, you were mentioning, Rick, that it is a tough track to pass, and like you were mentioning with braking zones, you got to know where the guy in front of you is going to be braking. You don't want to run up on him too early, but you see a guy like that gets loose, and you got to tell yourself, you want to be like a shark in the water. You see somebody get loose, and you almost charge the corner harder whenever you see that, trying to get by that guy, get your nose on the inside. But you got to be disciplined, man. Like, just taking it easy. We still got a lot of racing left, 227 laps or so that we have left here tonight. So just taking it easy, especially if you're in the top 5, you know, looking at points, and just bring it home, man. Make sure you get there at the end. We got another caution here. Don't know who went around.
It's like Dan Hughes. Dan Hughes is against the inside wall right at the start-finish line. A really dangerous. Don't back up. Don't back up. Yep, that's unfortunate. No harm, no foul. But Dan Hughes probably just went around. Let's take a quick look at that. Watching the 9 car here.
Oh,
hits the curb.
Yep.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to do this in these cars. I mean, it's just going to upset the car almost every time.
Well, 26 laps are down. Now, again, we do have a stage break around lap 84. Are tires really a factor here? Where should we begin to see some tire wear?
Yeah, I'm not sure about tires, but I think more so than tires, if you keep hitting cautions, it's just going to be track position more than anything, really. Are the tires really going to be worth hitting now and getting caught up in incidents as you try to make your way back up through the field?
Looks like with those 2 cautions, Josh Douglas is back on the lead lap. Dan Hughes is in the pits.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, with tires here, I think it's going to be, you know, not a matter of really who can save tires. I think it's going to be a matter of who doesn't slide the tires on corner entry, because I think that's what's going to happen here as the cars get, you know, more wear on them, as the fuel load drops down, the cars get lighter. Your brake is going to have to change. How you enter the corner is going to have to change. So I think the drivers who are able to keep the car underneath them and not slide and not drift up too high and put a lot of wear on the right side, those are going to be the guys who I want to pay attention to and figure that out. But I think tires are going to be somewhat even here. I think it's like you said, Ryan, more on fuel. I mean, who can really play the fuel game well, and who can bring it home at the end of the day, maybe with not even, you know, the least amount of, without track position only, but the least amount of pit stops too. Because I mean, right now, if I was the leader, I would stay out as long as I could and come down to the absolute last second and try to keep my track position, because you are very right. Track position here, I mean, the top 4 or 5 hasn't really changed that much since we got underway. And unless somebody moves you or make a mistake, that's really the only way you'll be able to pass anybody here at Martinsville.
Well, this is just a storied track, and certainly we see each and every week. This is the Hail Melon track. Is that the story?
I think so.
Knew somebody was going to bring it up.
Well, figured I'd wait
It's-
till at least lap 29. So
yeah.
if
I
you,
don't know if. Go ahead.
I was gonna say if everybody's familiar with NASCAR that's listening, you know exactly what that means. But if you don't, on the outside chance, we'll tell you about it later. All right,
We
pace
may see
car has
something
dropped
tonight.
off. Yeah, yeah. Well,
Maybe. I don't know if that move's banned or not in this league, but we'll see. Green flag back in the air. Winsel with another great jump as they go down into turn 1. Field definitely a little bit more stacked up than they were on this last restart. We're about 5th on back.
kind of watching the mid bits throughout the field here, just kind of looking back and. This is where it gets a little dicey. These restarts where you've got, you're running side by side, because the optimal line is not on the outside.
Unless you're Ross Chastain.
Yeah, for a short period of time. But you want to be able to apex those corners to come down and get a better run at it.
Yeah, one guy who's doing really well with this is actually 12 of Eric Jeffers. He's been able to close that gap quite a bit on the leader. Now, as soon as I said that, he fell back, but he was right up at the bumper of Winsel. A little bit of a higher entry into the corner and a little bit of a lower exit. So lines here matter, and how you run this race matters, and we'll see how this plays out as the race goes on.
Yeah, traditionally you'd be looking at Martinsville and you'd be doing your absolute best just to kind of paint that inside curb. Laying your bumper and kind of dragging that bumper over the curb all the way through the corner. But over the last couple of years, it seems you've kind of seen almost a little bit of a diamond, especially with these cars. You get into the corner, kind of let it rotate, slide up the track, and then drive straight off in the Cup Series at the very least. So I'll be kind of curious to see if people are going to be hugging that inside line best they can all the way around, if they're going to try to diamond the corner a little bit.
So Eric Jeffers
Ooh, 01
says,
got loose.
Yep. I think that was Travis Bennett in the 01. He's got some left side damage there on that 01 Ford. Really, Jordan Wenzel's been in charge. He has not lost that first positions for the past 38 laps. Again, these cars operate on 50% fuel, so we'll have to. They'll tell us when they're going to come down and come in for fuel.
I mean, and looking at Eric Jeffers really quick, guys, he is 14 to the bad. He needs a good run, and he's in front of Bennett, which he needs. He's not in front of Winsel, who's in third. But with these positions, how they land, he's in a prime spot to possibly maybe steal a win and move up into the championship four here, running second early on. I mean, that's a good showing because, like you said, Winsel's been dominating the race ever since the start. So, try to see some trends. I think this is where we're going to start to see some of the tires start to really wear a little bit, and who's been able to take care of them. We already have about a 2 to 3 second gap from first all the way back to sixth. And as far as keep on going back through the field, it's a couple tenths every position. So, and that matters when you're only running 19-second lap times.
Dan Hughes is the only car. That's the number 6 of Hughes, who is currently in a 1 lap down position. Everybody is on the lead lap. That's the 14 of Jeff Brogdon. He is currently running in the 9th spot.
Yeah, he's one of those guys, like you said, that he's advanced on to the next round. But if you can get up there and kind of race with these guys up front, you know, Mr. Wetzel, he's pulled away and he's leading right now. But if you can get up there and race with him and kind of don't let him win this race to where he automatically moves on to the next round, make him earn it a little bit. Because if you can pass him, get to the lead, and kind of force him to be on the outside on a restart, you never know what might kind of happen. It looks like we have another caution.
Yeah,
off like 4 once again.
Looks like Alex Murphy.
Sounds like maybe it was another issue with the curb.
Yeah, that turn 4 monster is definitely out here tonight.
It's always interesting when you look at that on like a short track. Yep, just that curb. But it's like, you might think of a track as being symmetrical, you know, but it always seems like there's one corner off of either 2 or 4 that there's always incidents at. You know, whatever it is about the track, even though it seems symmetrical, you always have one incident spot that's just hot for whatever reason. And tonight it seems to be turn 4.
Well, and with this track, that curve is so easy to upset the car. You know, with this next gen car, the way that the body and the frame operate, all it takes is that one tire that is offset from the other 3, and the car's stability is gone.
Yeah, these cars are so rigid nowadays that there is no absorption, especially with the low sidewall of the tire. You know, you're not only not having any kind of like give in the chassis itself, but you don't have any give in the tire really anymore. You know, that sidewall's gone, so it like you said, Rick, it's gonna it's not gonna take much of a dip. It's almost kind of like the old Myrtle Beach track with the turtles that they had. You know, those curbs are probably what you think, like good 4 inches, or you know, or what up off the actual racing surface. They're steep.
Yeah, and it's got one of those curves where there's actually a little bit of a drop off the racing surface, and the concrete curb comes up, and then it's not symmetrical. It kind of goes up and then drops off. It's kind of weird, but they're typical of what you would see almost in your neighborhood. You know, around like a cul-de-sac, that type of a curb that's there, maybe not quite as wide, but it's just really, it just upsets the car.
Yeah, looking at I don't see anybody but one car maybe coming down pit road. I think, like we were saying, everybody's going to stay out, you know, until they absolutely have to pit for fuel, and that's going to be it. But with these caution laps, how far can you stretch it on fuel? You know, I can imagine that you can go quite a ways on this tank of fuel, and
yeah, I think
we'll
we'll get to
see who's going to be the first.
Yeah,
the first person to come down.
Yeah, I think Alex Murphy is on pit road now. He was involved in that last spin, but I'm thinking they may get to 100 laps before they wind up coming in for fuel.
Yeah.
Solely because we're on caution laps.
Yeah, and if you can be the first person to pit, and to where you can make it to the end, and then you don't have to pit anymore, well, then as everybody else pits in front of you, you'll cycle it to the lead. And like we've seen tonight, if you get to the lead and you can just kind of get that jump off the start, you're kind of golden for at least a couple laps.
All right, lap 49 is in the books, our 4th caution of the night. 202 laps to go here at Martinsville for the iNASCAR Martinsville 250. This is the final cut of the championship before we get to next week at the championship to determine which 4 drivers will vie for the champion of this series. And we are back underway here in Martinsville.
Wintle got a great jump on really the entire field there. And in second place, you have Corey Bunch. You know, those have been basically the top 2 guys here tonight. And it seems like Winsel is it sounds odd, but a little bit slower to kind of get started. Looks like Bunch is a little bit more aggressive on the restarts. But once the car settles in, Wenzel just takes off. So we'll see some side-by-side action there with the 01 and the 42.
Oh, heavy braking with the 42.
Yeah.
That's Tony Japs. He locked it up.
Jeffers is on the bumper of the 48 car.
Yep, and the 14 just gave a nudge to the 42.
Yeah, this is one of those tracks where you're, like I said before, you're heavy on a brake, and especially on a restart, you're almost going into the corner. Oh, we got a spin off of 4 once again.
Yeah, that's the
the
9 car of Jason Hale.
Yep. But as I was going to say, you're almost looking in the mirror just as much as you're looking out the front windshield, just making sure that you're not only taking care of yourself, but you're making sure the guy behind you is not cooking it in the corner a little bit too hard, to where sometimes you got to roll out of the brake to avoid getting ran over at times. You got to be all the way aware, 360 degrees, all the way around of what's absolutely going on around you.
Well, this is also one of those tracks where, if you're not liking how that guy that's in front of you, if he's holding you up, you can lay the bumper to him a little bit and move him out of your way.
Oh yeah, that's an expectation. It's going to happen. I mean, and especially later in the race when we see some of these playoff drivers start to get a little bit frustrated and they know they need to make a move. I mean, why else do you put this race at the end of a cutoff right before the championship? Because people are going to move each other out of the way. So all gloves off. It's every man for himself towards the end of it. So you're absolutely right, Rick. We may see the bumper being used, maybe not once, maybe not twice, maybe quite a few times later on, which I'm excited for. That's what we like to see.
Yeah, it would be exciting, but I tell you, it is very delicate in this sim. You can make it work in real life. In real life, they make it seem like the cars are gripped up, and you really have to shove the guy to move him out of the way. But in this sim, it's just like you get in there a little hot. It seems like you don't hit him very much. Rear tires step out from under the guy that you hit, and they're around. It's really tough in the sim to really get a grasp of how close you are to the guy, and not just absolutely ship them off into the corner. You don't mind a little bit of bumping and banging, but you don't want to just ship a guy off into the corner. That's not so it's incredibly tough, that balance of getting somebody loose and just taking it a step too far.
Well, the first 56 laps are in the books, 5 cautions so far tonight. We are under caution here with 195 laps to go. So the regular NASCAR, the guys who do this for real, are here this Sunday. Any expectations?
Well, no Ross Chastain moves, unfortunately, even though I don't know if y'all saw his helmet. It matches his car that he drove last year, has skid marks all alongside of it. So I think this weekend, a playoff driver is going to win, but I think we're going to see a lot of chaos. I think with a couple drivers in particular, not going to name names, but I think it's going to be quite an event-filled race. That's all I got to say.
All right, we're about to go back on the green here. Jordan Wenzel is in charge. Oh, he held the field back for a while there.
Good start on the outside. Excellent start on the outside, yeah. Really. He may be able to slip down to the inside. A little bit of a checkup on the inside.
We saw the 0-1 of Travis Bennett pretty much pushing the car in front of him around. Got under the 43 of Garrett Walden. See if you can keep that position.
I am digging that 43 scheme. John, I know you're a big Jeff Gordon fan. What do you think about that 43 scheme?
I saw it from practice. I was like, oh, maybe we have a car in the wall.
Yeah, 17 car.
That's
another playoff driver.
Yeah, it is. That is Magden again. We saw him spin for caution number 1. But no, that 43 car obviously is a favorite of mine. That's actually the very first race that I saw was when Jeff Gordon ran that paint scheme. So that has a little bit of a special place in my heart. But I'm a big fan of it. I've never really seen a gradient flame scheme like that ever. So it's definitely caught my eye for sure.
I love those matte finishes. They're just something about them. But looks like we're still under green, even though we had that car on the wall.
Yeah, we got a big battle for the lead, though.
That's what I was going to mention, Rick.
You're right. Corey Bunch is right there and about to challenge Jordan Wenzel for first.
Got a caution out.
Oh. Unfortunately,
Jason Hale, number 9 again, I think.
And Martin Giroux was also involved. See smoke clearing. Took a while for Martinsville to get going. Let's go back and see what happened.
Ooh, is it that bump?
No,
Oh,
well,
just
it
a
was.
little bit. He got loose.
It was the bump of the 42, and it is in the. Let's bring that back. He got a little help.
You got a bump, and another bump, and another bump.
Yeah, let's look a bit farther back. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, that's the second time we saw the 42 lock it up heading into that corner. Unfortunately, the 50 of Mark Giroux was the recipient of that.
I think the 30, like I said, he saw that that car get loose and he saw blood in the water, and he took it 3 wide off of 4 and gained 2 spots there probably before the caution came out.
I know Jason Hale was involved at some point, but he is still on the track going around. So this has been, obviously, we're now on our 6th caution with only 64 laps. That is our magic number, John, is it not?
You took the thought, completely out of my head. I was thinking, oh wow, this is a trend, which I haven't said in a long time. But yeah, trends do hold true, and that's that magic number has been 10 laps tonight, where we get a caution every 10 laps to obviously 65 in, 6 cautions. So I can do that kind of math, Rick. Boom, there you go. Yeah, I mean, hopefully the trend changes, because we have really, if this trend does hold true, we will have a caution right at the stage break on lap 84. Which means we will, that'll be the end of stage 1, which I expect people to come down pit road, because at that point you've been out here for about 80 laps. Granted, a lot of those have been under caution, but still, I think with the way that this race looks like it could be going, maybe come down anyways. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you come down and pit during the stage break, or do you stay out and keep your track position?
Yeah, I think with the way it's going, you kind of see the guys that are up front, especially those top 4. Whoever's been in the top 4 has basically stayed there. I wouldn't give up that track position for anything right now.
Yeah, I don't think it
really
brings you any value. It's not like you've got, we've got 66 laps in, but really, probably only about half of those laps are actually under speed.
That's correct. All right, here we go. Another restart, and we're back under green. A better restart for
another stack up.
The 81, but yeah, I agreed. Another stack up from really both lanes. As Winsel's off, and we got battle side by side from 5th on back. Oh, hold on to her.
Oh, 3 wide.
Uh-oh, that's not good.
Made it work. 42 was smart and kind of meat in the sandwich kind of gave way.
Yeah, and the 72 stayed high and said, okay, I'm out of it. So. Oh.
Got some contact.
Around turn 4,
and 42. Yep.
That turn 4, I don't know what it is about it.
My guess, because I've raced at Martinsville, I think we all have, you have to be very careful on throttle when you get back into it. So possibly it could be the fact that the car is just getting upset when they get back under throttle coming out of, mid to exit on turn 4. I mean, that's my only assumption, because like you mentioned before, Ryan, there's typically that one corner that everybody seems to have issues with, and you were right. Tonight it's been turn 4. Let's look at the replay.
Oh, we got a little tight in the center.
Yeah, that's Briggs and Japs right there.
Yeah, I don't know if he thought that maybe he was going to go up to the wall a little bit sooner, but they kept it straight. I don't think anybody's really going to have any damage coming out of this, fortunately.
I was actually kind of surprised the caution flew, because, I mean, iRacing definitely takes into consideration how much of an angle these cars are at when they spin. Sometimes you're like, how is that not a caution? Sometimes you're like, how is that a caution? So that was one of those in-betweens that I was like, I could have kept on going, but that brings out our 7th caution of the evening. which means we are 13 laps away from that first, or from the only stage break, I should say.
Yeah, but I don't know how this series does it, but I believe the cautions are probably thrown at the race director's discretion, as it seems. So that may have been an admin decision to throw the caution there. I don't know if iRacing threw that or not.
Yeah, this is an admin managed event, and you've got a couple of drivers, a couple of folks up there in the booth, keeping an eye in the sky over this event. So you're right, though, John. Here we are, lap 72. Caution in about 12 laps. That will be a stage break at lap 84. So that is an opportunity, which we'll probably see at that point. Everybody come down pit road, get some fresh tire and some fuel, and go back out to racing.
Now, Rick, I'm not sure if you know, does this series deal any points at the end of stage?
I believe they do.
Okay.
I mean, with Wenzel getting, I mean, I would assume, I mean, do we think it's 10? I'm not sure. 10 to 1 from 1st to 10th?
Typically, that's how it flies.
Yeah. I mean, with that, that's going to help him out tremendously, point-wise.
Yeah, definitely Jeffers, who's sitting in third.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is definitely going to be major playoff implications. Obviously, we have no clue what the points are going to be. We do not have access to that information, but definitely going to have some major playoff implications with the 12 battling up there. You know, you have Whitley as well.
Yeah, Whitley is currently sitting in 7th. He's 66 points behind. He definitely wants to win here, but I'm sure every point matters. So.
All right. Well, I hope this is going to be the last restart we have before the stage break on lap 84. 10 laps until we have the stage, and they're in the Geico restart zone. We are back to green flag racing here at Martinsville, and a great restart from the outside of Corey Bunch. He's going to battle side by side, guys.
Well, they know that stage break is coming. This is the time to really turn it on.
And he's there.
He's going to power on the outside. He's going to have a good run off the corner, that's for sure.
Wow.
He made power around the outside here. Excellent move.
We're wrecking in the back.
And a yellow. That's probably going to give him the lead there.
Wow, look at that. What a move by Corey Bunch to take the lead. And another caution. You could probably guess where that happened, Ryan.
Yep.
Was it turn 4?
I think you're right.
Yep, Martin Pinnell, I think, went around. Let's go back and see what happened to Martin.
I'm sure somebody didn't leave a sprinkler on out there in turn 4 somewhere.
Darn it.
I know there's no grass on the corners anymore, which I'm a little bit bummed about. But
yeah.
So they're 3 wide in front. Pretty much that's all Martin. Yeah.
It's one of those overcorrections.
Yep. Same thing we saw earlier in the race.
Yep.
And we do have some takers down pit road, actually. Michael Whitley Jr., Brogdon, Alex Murphy has come down. Tony Japs and Martin Giroux.
This is going to cycle them out to the front, right? Once everybody else pits for the stage, right?
If they pit, that's the question. Are they going to pit with how many caution laps we've had?
Yeah.
Also, that's a beautiful Krispy Kreme scheme. But you have Dunkin' Donuts on this. Oh, it's Rip Dunkin' Donuts. That's funny. I like that. I just got that. I haven't looked at the scheme. That's pretty good.
Good pit stop by Michael Whitley.
Yeah, so I mean, this is going to be a very interesting. Oh, well.
That's definitely a battle off of pit road.
Maybe a little disagreement on.
Yeah, that's the 14 of Jeff Brogdon battling door to door with a 94 off of pit road. And I think the 94 came with the worst of it, but.
So
all right, so guess who's in the lead right now? Mr. Corey Bunch.
Yep, Corey Bunch in the lead. I see race control is talking. I don't know what they're saying because I can't hear them. but this is pretty close to the stage break. I wonder if they are going to call the stage now or if they're going to let it run. You know what I mean, I don't know. It's just an assumption, but we have like a 2-lap shootout and then another caution comes out. So
yeah,
I'm not sure.
I'm thinking that they would let it go because if you knew it prior to, you may have come down.
Right. Yeah, I am not sure.
And we still got at least another 2 laps here under caution. Lights are still on the pace car. I'm going to figure they're probably going to turn off here. And we'll go to 1 to green.
And they may extend that stage break from lap 84 to lap 90. You never know.
Possibly. Well, there's the lights. You were right there, Ryan. So we'll see. I cannot hear race control over the iRacing side of things, but they were talking.
So that puts the 81 on the outside here. Let's see if he can hold that position for just a few laps. That's kind of the scary thing is getting stuck on the outside, and you can get freight trained pretty easily.
Exactly.
But
this is going to be
only a few laps. He may be able to hold it off.
Well, you've got the 01 of Travis Bennett right there behind him.
All right, here we go. Green flag back in the air. Great launch. And you got some shoving going on between Bennett and Wenzel there. And turn 1, 3 wide maybe? Nope. Not yet.
I don't think that car stuck quite like the 01 was thinking it might on the outside there.
It's got a little bit of side-by-side action for third, but we have possibly one more lap to go in this stage. Bunch, Wenzel, Jeffers, Douglas, and Walden, your top 5.
Watch the battle back, a little bit farther back in the field. That's the 42. Again, locking it up. Yeah. So that is definitely contributing to him as he gets into the corner and loss of control a bit. That's definitely not going to help him. And as we thought, the stage break is here at lap 84. This is just a stage break caution.
And here comes everybody.
Boy, that was a quick.
Yeah.
Good heads up by the leaders there, seeing that the pit road was open, because so many times that's happened to me, where a caution comes out and the pace car just happens to be at the right spot where pit road opens, and you got about 2 seconds to react if you're going to come down pit road.
So we may see a pretty intense battle out of pit road right here. Wenzel was a little bit more aggressive getting into his box. Be very curious. He has that first stall. Wenzel may be able
What do you think,
to get off pit road first.
4 tires?
4 tires, absolutely, yeah.
And there he goes. He does win the battle out of pit road. Wenzel right in front of Corey Bunch.
Good pit stop. Corey Bunch's pit stop was a 15:07. Jordan Wenzel, 14.93. All right, so we are going to get a bit of a change in the restart here because a number of drivers had come in just prior, did not come back down onto pit road. So you'll see Dan Hughes, right now he is currently showing up front. I think he did get his lap back. So we'll see how this goes.
Love the move. I mean, what an awesome move out of those guys, because they basically don't have many laps under these tires at all. And with the way that the trends are falling here tonight, I think that's an incredible move. And so that's going to put Jordan Wenzel all the way back into 6th. So that, at Martinsville is significant when you have, Whitley Jr. He needs a good run here. And Murphy as well. So, or in Brogdon rather. So, I guess anybody behind those guys. But, this is going to be a good shakeup for the field.
So Dan Hughes came in on lap 25. So he's the earliest taker of one of the drivers out there who has not come back in. But as we're saying earlier, Michael Whitley Jr. in the 94, Tony Japs in the 42, Alex Murphy in the 30. They all came in around 5 or 6 laps ago, and it has allowed them to cycle back up to the front.
Yep. Yeah, I thought the 6 came with the rest of those guys. So 6 on much older tires. The rest of the guys about 77 to 79. That is that's second through fifth, and then you have the first car on fresh tires is that number 81.
So it's going to be a little scary for that 6. He's out there knowing everybody behind him is on fresher tires than you are. So.
We'll see. Here we go. No more stage breaks. We're running to the end of this thing. Green flag back in the air, and Dan Hughes out front at Martinsville.
Oh, the 81 is around.
The 81 is wrecked in the upside wall. The car's wrecking on the inside wall, too. Big stack up in the backstretch. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I saw he was able to get to the inside there just about immediately, and I think the door on the outside just kind of closed up on him.
That is
when he was already outside, and he came up to the wall, and someone was there.
All right, let's see if we can go back and figure out what happened there.
.30 has the position.
Yep.
Yep, unfortunately.
And then there was some more carnage on the inside. Not sure who got spun. Was it the 12 of Jeffers?
12 checks up, but he makes it clear.
Saw some other guys involved in this. Oh, there's a car backwards. Don't know who that is.
See, the 17 was involved. Let's go back, and that's Simon Magden.
Oh, yeah.
This is a bit farther back in the pack. We're focusing on the 17 of Simon Magden. We know Josh Douglas was involved.
Oof.
That's Josh Douglas in the 8. Checking up, 79 comes in the 17, and yep, lots of carnage. So the 81 is making his way down onto pit road. My guess is he's going to come down and potentially either see what his damage is and then make a decision whether he needs to use that quick repair.
I mean, my guess he probably will have to use it. I mean, he was pretty hard contact into the right side wall we're about to see right here.
Yep.
Yep. I mean, that's the danger. That's the danger you play of getting, you know, he was leading the entire race, him and Corey Bunch. Next thing you know, they're back there, and you have you first lap, not even first half lap, you get involved, and that's how dangerous it is here at Martinsville Speedway.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if he actually had a meatball flag, or if he had any optionals. Me personally, I probably would have taken the optionals, just about no matter how much it is, because you know this is an attrition race, and with only 19 cars on the lead lap and 31 points to the good. Well, I guess it's pretty much good in the race at that point anyways, I guess. But the last thing you need is to use that fast repair and then absolutely need it later on when you if you end up with a meatball flag.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, the lights are off on the pace car. We are on under our 10th caution of the night, about to get restarted, going back to green. The 6 of Dan Hughes is in charge.
There in the Geico restart zone, and we are off. Green flag back in the air, inside line, gets a good jump, and Dan Hughes out front. But here comes the 94 of Whitley, looking to possibly steal one here and make his way into the championship 4 on the outside. Whoa, what in the world?
6 had a little bit of contact with that safer barrier. 14 has driven his way back up to...
Oh, 42 hit the apron.
Caution's back out. I almost thought that it wasn't going to fly there for a second.
Yeah, the admin threw that one. 42 hit the turtle again. Hit the curb.
Off of turn 4, I imagine.
Yeah, you would be right. You would be right.
That's the 42 of Jeffers. I'm sorry, of Jeffs, rather. Keeping an eye on the 14 here. There was a little bit of contact between those two drivers. Back and just quickly look at that. That's all it took.
Yep. Just a little bit.
And a little bit of assistance. But you have nowhere to go if you're the 14. I mean, you
Yeah.
got a field full of cars behind you. I mean, if you
Can't
slam on
check
your
up it
brakes,
so much. Yeah.
yeah, you got, it's almost like, damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of situation. It's not a win-win. So,
Yeah.
I got to give a little bit of props to Dan Hughes here. He is under still the oldest set of tires back from lap 25. He's done a good job on these restarts.
Yeah, and I think that's probably what you're going to see if we continue just to get, 4 or 5 laps. Even if you have the pressure tires, it's still going to take just a few laps to kind of get those tires, warmed up and start charging again and going after that lead. I think really, even if you're on older tires, you can kind of hang on for a little bit.
yeah.
I think he's got some left front damage to that number 6 car.
He does. He has his front ends right where the tire, the wheel well is. It's a little bit damaged. I can see it on my end.
Well, I think they may be a little bit concerned. How much time was this race allotted for? 2.5 hours?
Yes. We have 2 hours left. To be exact. 2 hours and 50 minutes, and we are 53 minutes elapsed. So, just under 2 hours.
They did 3.5 hours.
2.5 hours total. We've elapsed 50 minutes of that 2.5.
Gotcha.
Or my bad. I'm thinking 50 is. Again, math is not my strong suit, especially at 9 o'clock at night Central Time on a Thursday. 2 hours and 50 minutes, which is not half of 60, and we've gone at 54 minutes. So that means we have an hour and 56 minutes left. That is correct. Okay.
All right, the lights are off on our pace car. I'm not sure what kind of math that is, but it's all good. We're gonna we're about to
I can
go.
do the math of 150 laps left. I can do that.
There we go. That's all that matters. Alrighty, Dan Hughes still up front, and we're green flag racing again here at Martinsville. Absolutely, he's doing a great job out there. As look who's in second, Travis Bennett, the first car on fresh tires, looking to take that opportunity to take the lead.
Oh, three wide behind.
Oh.
How did that work out? I have no idea. But we're still 2 wide here. Oh, car on the wall in the back.
Oh, we're wrecking again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wasn't as bad as it could have potentially been. I think everybody's still straight.
Yep,
We're still on
forward.
the green
flag.
There we go.
It was the 17 of Magden. Of course.
Oh,
the
and the 50 is around.
50's
He
around.
Oh, well, there's our
just
caution.
lost it on entry, I think.
Yeah. Well, you can
a
also
little hot.
you can only bang that safer barrier so many times too.
I would bet you that's probably what happened. Was an early downshift. If they are indeed shifting, and probably wheel hop the rear end.
Well, we can go back and take a look. We actually have the ability. Let's back this up just a little bit. We can run this. Let's look from his dash cam. 3rd gear.
Oh, that was the earlier incident. I think it was going into 3 on this lap.
Or was it 1 and 2? I thought it was 1 and 2.
Here we go. Nope, that 50 just spun in front of me. He had no place to go.
Yeah.
All right, that's the 50 of Martin Giroux on pit road, getting a little bit of damage, probably repaired. We are currently under our 12th caution, 145 laps to go, 106 in the books. We thank you for tuning in to the IWM Broadcast Network, brought to you each and every week here on your favorite stream, whether that happens to be YouTube or Facebook. We appreciate you tuning in and following along with this championship event tonight. This is the final race before next week in Phoenix for the iNASCAR series. 8 drivers battling for the 4 championship positions. You know, this is just one of those tracks where it favors somebody's driving style. It may not be your driving style, but it's a hard track.
It's all about rhythm. That's when I race here, I just try to keep all got 3 right action going on. Try to keep the same mentality and, throughout the entire race, make sure I hit my marks, make sure I don't overcook the brakes. It's such a, it's a short track, but it's also a driver's track to know what your limits are and know what the car's limits are. So it's braking point, entry point, diamonding the corner. Do you want to run down low? What's everybody else's braking point in comparison to yours?
Well, I find it to be, we're about to get back underway here, but I find it to be such a challenge because you may know your spots and where you've got to hit to make it, but it may not match the guys that are around you, and unfortunately, it's so narrow, it's easy to get collected.
It is, absolutely. Green flag back out. Dan Hughes slides right up in front of Corey Bunch. My bad, that is Travis Bennett.
And Travis is going to get to the back bumper here off of 4. He's got a great run down the front stretch to see if he can kind of make anything happen here. Get 14
Dan.
right on his back bumper 2.
Dan hopped the curb a little bit.
Yeah, I thought it was definitely a little loose.
But keeps the lead.
12th car of Jeffers is back there running side by side with the 24. And Dan Hughes continues to hold this lead. A testament to his driving, but also how challenging this track is to get around.
Oh, we're wrecking in the back. Oh, maybe not. We're green. Sorry, Ryan, didn't know if I tossed our car sideways in the middle of 1 and 2.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can really see Travis Bennett really charging that corner. I've seen him lock up a couple times. But he's definitely charging that corner hard, maybe sweeping up a little bit. I think every time he kind of sweeps up, he loses a little bit of time. But he's right there on that back bumper. He may be looking at the inside this next corner. Here we go, down to the inside, the 0-1. Couldn't quite get there.
Great run this time. He may be able to do it. Here we go.
Inside.
Oh, it closes the door.
Oh. Wow. Aggressive blocking out of the 6 to not let that 0-1 into the lead.
The 6. A little bit.
Oh, man.
He saved it. He saved it. 0-1 locking
power
it
on the
up.
outside.
And got it done. New leader. Oh, Reckoning 3. carpet against the wall.
That's the 14 of Jeff Brogdon. Oops, let's go back to that. Sorry about that. See if we can figure out what's happening here.
I think we see the 6 car coming to pit.
Oh, the 94 taps the 14.
Oh man,
Sending him in the wall.
we were talking about how far were you willing to take it on those tires. The 6 car pit, and I heard him say over the radio, he's like, "Yeah, I've got to get off these tires." they were not working for him. You know, when was the last time he pit, Rick?
25.
It was like 24. Yep, that's what I was thinking. He's been on him for quite some time. He was able to hang on to it quite a bit longer, but yeah, I agree. As soon as you lose that lead, you know, you'd be starting on the outside there, and that could just spell trouble. Outside, old tires usually just doesn't work out. So I think that's a good call. Just kind of taking your medicine right here, going ahead and pitting, and getting back after it.
All right, so that puts Travis Bennett right now in control of this restart. When we go back to green flag racing, down to 133 laps to go, probably 130, 131 by the time we get back under green flag conditions. Corey Bunch is in second, just where he started. Eric Jeffers will be in third. Garrett Walden up 6 to 4th. Jordan Wenzel is making his way back up. He will restart somewhere about 5th. Michael Whitney plus 2. He's up to 6th. Same with Alex Murphy up to 7th. Scott Thomas up 3. He is now in 8th. Josh Douglas is in 9th. And Simon Magden is in 10th. Really the big mover so far tonight is Garrett Walden. He started 10th. He's up to 4th. All right, lights are off on our pace card.
Green flag is back out.
Excellent start.
It's a good move for the 01 of Bennett for sure. Back in the field, they're still 2 wide racing, mid-pack.
Look up there and you see the 81 back there in 4th. He's made his way back up to 30. Kind of got tight there on entry. Almost slid up to the 79 car. That was kind of a close call there.
That's Scott
yeah,
Thomas.
The 81, yeah, the 81 doing a great job making his way up there. Had to keep it clean. We know he probably didn't have a faster pair left, so being able to get back up to the position that he's at is pretty. Oh, we have a spin in turn 4 once again.
Yeah.
Oh, and a big stack up. We got about 4 cars back there. Yep.
17, 48, the 6.
The 6 that just pit.
Yep. It's Martin Pinnell was involved. Simon Magden, Jerry Briggs, Dan Hughes.
Big damage on the front of that 17 car.
Where else would it be? Turn 4.
Turn
Oh,
4 says
this
the
one
17.
again. Oh, excellent job of the 9.
Oh no. So I don't know what happened with the 48, but looks like checkup didn't really happen there.
Nope, that's Jeremy Briggs. I don't think there's a lot of time for a checkup.
There's not. It's like what I said earlier. You either have to. I mean, it's so quick. You got to make a move, and sometimes no move is the right move. So.
Yeah, it's just kind of like what I said before. You can check up all you want, but you got to make sure the guys behind you are on the same page. You go to check up, and you're just as likely to get involved, and getting hit in the rear end in the same way. So it's kind of tough. Sometimes it's almost better. I've kind of learned that you hate to not slow up, but sometimes it almost just seems better just to kind of drag a little brake, do what you can, but then you might have to lay off the brake and just let the car roll a little bit to more avoid the wreck than trying to slow up as much.
$17 and the 48 make it off of pit road. So we are officially at the halfway point here in Martinsville. This is our 14th caution of the night. I think we're running a little bit ahead of your laps per caution.
Trends a little bit
Yes,
different tonight.
It is trending differently.
So Rick, looking at the points, if I'm thinking about it right, I know that we had some playoff points there for the stage, but what do you think with Jordan Wetzel with 31 points up going into this race and only 19 cars on the lead lap, or 19 cars in this competition tonight? I would kind of figure that he would be moved on essentially at this point, correct?
If the race were stopped now, and if we look at Jordan Wetzel, he's sitting in fourth. Yeah, probably pretty good. Travis Bennett is leading the race, and he is in the fourth slot.
But that's kind of what I'm thinking with even just 19 cars in the lead lap. Even if he finished 19th, I would imagine he would still be in just on points at this point. So then I would be looking at mainly the main battle being between Bennett and Jeffers at that point, and looking at them, they're in positions 1 and 2. So
yeah,
that could be.
Yeah, I mean Jeffers is right now. He's the first car knocking on the door. He is 14 points down. You know, if he's finishing in second and with good stage points, it's going to be close.
Yeah.
All right, pace cars. Yeah, is off. We're about to go back on a restart with Travis Bennett leading us to the line.
Green flag, back in the air.
Another great start.
Oh, 12 tried to come down and block.
He got it.
He got it done.
Great move.
Like we were just talking about what Eric Jeffers and what he needed to do is he needed to get to the front.
I think the 12 car might have something for the for Travis here. Yeah, I see him kind of rolling the center quite well. Kind of curious to see if he can get to that back door and maybe just apply a little bit of pressure. As sometimes all it takes, I know you are talking about using the bumper a little bit, but in certain situations, all you got to do is be there and be close and get that guy looking in the rearview mirror.
He's got to run.
Just looking to the inside. And again, just kind of, I've sometimes just kind of stick my nose down there, you know, have no intention of actually trying to make that move quite yet. But if you can kind of stick your nose down there, get the guy in front kind of wondering, what's this guy behind me going to do? Is he going to try to dive down that hard? You know, and sometimes you'll see them overdrive their own corner, looking in the rearview mirror. So sometimes you don't even have to make contact to make a pass. Just by the fact of being there.
Yeah, let him make the mistake. Sure.
Yeah.
Well, if you got an entire rearview mirror faced with the guy behind you, you know, you're now thinking not only about how you're going forward, but do I need to block behind?
Sure is. I mean, and the 12 has been applying pressure this entire run ever since. Oh, he locked it up right there. Yep, that's going to open up the door for Corey Bunch to come down low. So we got two Krispy Kreme cars here in the front of the field.
Of course, when you do lock it up, you're going to heat up that tire, and of course that's going to impact its drivability for at least a few laps until it cools down.
Oh, Bennett hit the curb. Bennett hit the curb coming out of 4. Got to open up the door.
Run. It's a pretty sharp angle. He was pretty low getting into that corner. That kind of made it quite the sharp angle, kind of trying to get into that corner. I was wondering if he was going to slide up a little bit. Not able to make it happen there, but he's still on that back bumper.
Good battle here.
Oh,
Far around turn 4.
Michael Whitley.
Yep.
Michael Whitley. Caution did come out for Michael Whitley's spin. Again, contact with the curb. Surprise caution did come out at that point. All right, well, this is our 15th caution of the night. Travis Bennett is right now scored as our leader. Corey Bunch in second, Eric Jeffers in third. Garrett Walden is shown in fourth with Jordan Wenzel in fifth. And we thank you for tuning in to the IWM Broadcast Network. We know you have options as to what you watch or stream. We appreciate you tuning in to our broadcast tonight of the iNASCAR Martinsville 250, which is their cut race before next week's championship at Phoenix. As we said earlier, we'll be broadcasting every Thursday night starting next year in Season 3 of the iNASCAR Series, talking with their admins that it should be a very they got a great field of drivers planned for next season, and we're looking forward to bringing you their races each and every week. So one car's in the pits. That's the 50 of Martin Giraud, getting some work done. I think he's having work repaired from a previous incident. Michael Whitley is back in. My guess is after that spin, he's getting some tires. All right, pace car. I'm expecting the lights to go off on the pace car next time by. We'll get this back underway. So Ryan, you've said you've been to this track in real life a number of times. Where is the best place? Is it on that front stretch, or where do you park yourself when you come to Martinsville?
Yeah, really, there's not a bad place around this track. It's one of those. It's like Bristol, where there's not really a whole lot of bad places to sit, but I'm usually just past the start-finish line, about halfway, 3/4 of the way up. Is usually about where I sit. You can see all the way around this track. And that's usually where I am. But it looks like pace car is on pit road. The 01's ready to go. You can see him pull up a little bit. Looking for the restart zone. Looking for another good launch.
Here we go. And green flag back in the
what
air.
a launch he get.
Wow.
The outside line stacked
I told
up.
you he was ready.
Yeah, well, I think
Here comes.
Corey Bunch, that outside line just hung way back.
Yeah,
Eric
we'll see the
Jeffers
12
now.
car. Absolutely.
Yeah. He's there. He has a fast car tonight, and he's one of those guys that needs to win to get into this championship four. Drove it way down into the corner that time to try to clear that number 93 of Mr. Bunch. Does it. Seems like Jeffers is good early on in the restart. He has a lot of power, is able to put, be a little bit more aggressive on entry, which definitely affects him in the middle of the corner, can roll a little bit better than Bennett. But then once the run goes on, Bennett slightly pulls away.
Good battle here. Nearly pulls up to his bumper. He's keeping pace with the 01 of Travis Bennett. Oh, big run by the 93 of Corey Bunch. Oh, locks it up. Jeffers locks it up. you're on board with Jeffers.
Nice and smooth, easy on that throttle off the corner. Getting down right there on that painted line. Great job. Looks like he's probably staying in third gear.
Yeah, we saw that earlier in practice. That seems to be the way that these cars are geared here. You know, good repetitive racing by the 12 of Eric Jeffers there. He's hitting his marks. Definitely some good racing up front. Kind of looking back through the field. It's pretty much all single file. Some battles back, a bit farther back for 10th. The 42, the 79, the 9. Amazes me how quickly this field begins to separate.
And I think that's kind of what we need here. We start to see him kind of starting to separate and spread out, and this is where we can really start to see some really good racing here. People duking it out for position, kind of more on an individual level. I always kind of looked at it like when you're racing on the short track. It's almost kind of like if you can get to where you're spread out, it's almost like you're playing chess with a guy. You know, you sit there and you see where he's running and where he's struggling, and you try to take advantage of those certain spots or entries where he's struggling. Once you get past him, you go to the next guy and you play chess with him. But that's what's always kind of fun about these short tracks. It's not the big pack. I call it hornet's nest racing that you get with these cars on a big track like Auto Club. It just kind of makes it fun.
You saw the 9 locking it up, and that allowed the 42 to get around the 9.
Another yellow flag.
Yep, another caution.
Not seeing anything right off the bat. 32 on the front stretch.
Yep, that's Eric Thomas. What's the bet on the turn 4 curb?
I think you'd probably win every single time. That's all I gotta say. If we're in Vegas, I know what I'm putting my money on. 100%.
We saw him
Right
lock up.
front locked up. Yep.
Oh, there she
there it
is.
is. You got cars on pit road. The 12 is on pit road. The 81
Wow.
is at the 40.
43. A lot of takers on pit road this time.
Well, we're at lap 155. They pitted last on lap 84, so this is maybe that time.
Yeah, I don't think it's such a bad strategy here. I mean, if you feel like we're going to continue to have the cautions that we have and you can stretch the field to the end, kind of like what I said before, first to pit and then you'll cycle to the front when everybody else does. And I really don't think you'll struggle too terribly hard here, especially if you're the leader. I think you'll be okay for a good little bit. We saw the 6 kind of starting to struggle on a long run, but I think he had probably about 120 or something laps on his tires at that point. So we're not quite going to have that many here.
But now the duality is here, because now you've got a bunch of drivers, about half the field. Number of the guys who are up at the front: Eric Jeffers, Jordan Wenzel, Garrett Walden, Josh Douglas. Those guys were all battling at the front. They've all pitted now on lap 155, leaving Travis Bennett and Corey Bunch. They pitted last on lap 84. So there's a big delta between those two. Now, we've had caution flags about every 7 or 8 laps here, so that impacts it as well. But still, we expect to see those guys down on pit road soon.
And also, I kind of look at it, especially a track that's bottom lane dominant as much as Martinsville. my decision to kind of pit also kind of depends on what lane I'm going to be restarting on. You know, if I'm going to be restarting on the outside lane, I'm like, well, I'm probably going to lose a couple positions here on a restart anyway. So I might as well come down, pit, and see if I can pull a strategy that way. Just because I don't want to restart on that outside lane.
I think it's also affected by the fact that I think Corey Bunch and Travis Bennett are teammates. So if you got your teammate to the outside, then you can kind of maybe, you know, orchestrate that restart.
Yeah, and I believe does the leader have a lane choice? I know
Yes.
it's Martinsville.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So it makes it a little bit easier if for whatever reason he does choose the outside and gets a good run, then he can drop down in front of his teammate, almost kind of like at Talladega. But that kind of can lead to problems too with stacking up that inside lane too terribly much.
All right, the lights are off on top of our pace car. As we go back to restarting, 92 laps to go, 91 at the start. Here in Martinsville.
Here we go. Green flag back in the air. 91 to go.
Huge
Travis
jump.
Bennett up front. Yep, good jump there. Oh, blinking going on.
I think I saw the 14 with Jeff Brockett was having issues earlier. Not
Oh,
quite
3
sure.
wide. Good.
Oh, we're beating and banging out of 4 though.
Yep, I saw it. 3 wide going into 3 is not optimal.
Did survive. Looking back to the field, playoff drivers of Whitley, Wenzel, and Jeffers all there together. They are all battling around positions 7, 8, 9. A little bit of contact with the 12 and the 81.
Yeah, the 81's right there against that outside wall. It seems like he might have rushed it a little bit.
43 of Walden making the round.
Oh,
around.
17.
17,
Oh,
17.
Man.
Oh,
Oh, big stack up again. 6
yep,
involved,
got even more.
9
12
involved.
involved.
It's like Dan Hughes involved, Eric Jeffers, Jason Hale, and Martin Giroux all involved in that incident, which has
iNASCAR
brought
had
out.
to go.
Oh, all right, that could be some significant damage on the 9.
Yeah, I think he had one of the left front might have been broke.
Yep. Rick, Ryan, have I told you how much I don't like trends? I just don't like trends, guys. We're on trend tonight, and looking at the number 17.
Is it a dive gone wrong? Ooh,
Yeah, a little
yeah,
bit of brush
just a
by
little
the
bit.
42, Tony Japs. Spins him
Yep.
around.
Nowhere for
Blocking.
the 94 to go.
12 gets by, 81 gets by, the 9 spins
Oof.
with the 6. 8 survives to race on the day. The 12 went around.
I think he probably clipped the curb. That's my only assumption from why he went sideways, because he was clear from that. Or did he have to go to the curb to miss it?
Let's follow along.
I think he chose to go to the curb. But overall, I don't think he got too terribly much damage out of it. Maybe a little bit of contact. No, I think he's all right.
And no real contact, but certainly scrubbing off his tires a bit. But
Not an optimal location to be sitting, but
no, just stay right there, though.
yep.
Well, that puts Hale in the not Hale. That's Hughes, I think, in the. Well, I'm sorry, I'm correct. That's Jason Hale who's in the pits. Dan Hughes is also coming down pit road in the 6 for some service. This is lap 167 of 250. So only one car has retired. That was the 72. The 50 of Martin Giroux is 2 laps down.
We're looking at what, 16 cars in the lead lap here?
Yeah.
Assuming Hughes is able to get out on the lead lap.
Lights are off on our pace car. We're going back to green momentarily. This is our 17th caution of the night. But, you know, we have had, I don't know if it's our curse, but, you know, between Martinsville and Richmond, Virginia has not been good to our broadcasting.
No, it has not.
It's
Martinsville or Richmond. Both of those have just seemed to be it's not fun. Yes, tough for these guys. Tough track to drive, but the race presses on. 82 laps to go at the line.
The 14.
Bennett out front.
Watch the 14. He has made it all the way back up to third. That's Jeff Rogden.
At first I thought you said Joe Rogan. I was like, what is Joe doing out here? Like, when did he get into racing?
Yeah, his podcast, you know.
Ah, gotcha.
Good battle back there with the 94 and the 43. They're still battling side by side.
Ooh, lock up there for the 43. It's going to probably, gave way to the, he's in the wall too. Lost 3 spots on that outside of the 94.
It's got the 81 beneath them. 12 is trying to work his way back up. He's got Whitley in front of him in the 94. Playoff drivers trying to work their way back up to the front. Travis Bennett continues to show us the way here, lap 173. Jason Hale, the 9, finally off of pit road. He's coming out 6 laps down. Back up front, the 01 of Travis Bennett is there with his teammate Corey Bunch and the 14 of Jeff Brogdon. They've got a little bit of gap between themselves.
Yep, you know, Travis Bennett, sorry, go ahead.
Now I was going to say that Scott Thomas is now up 7 spots and sitting in 4th.
You know, with Scott Thomas coming up there, you know, looking at Travis Bennett too, you know, Bennett wins this race. He's going to go from the 4th player, or 4th driver rather, in the playoffs into 3rd. He'd win his way in, which means only one more driver would be able to make it on point. So Bennett out there having a great run. Corey Bunch obviously locked in. Brogdon locked in. But look at Michael Whitley. You know, with Jay Schultz not being a part of this race, that's one more position he could gain. So, you mean, this last spot is going to be very crucial, and every spot's going to matter as this race goes on. But Bennett out front right now.
Say the 6.
Yep, Dan Hughes. Facing the wrong direction on turn 4.
Don't back up, don't back up. No!
Yeah, it's always kind of tough because you see yourself sitting there in the middle of the racetrack. Because I've always kind of told myself, you get in that kind of situation, it's like, I may be in the way, but I need to try to be predictably in the way, if that makes sense. You know, if I start doing something outside of that, you know, try to get out of the way, it just kind of leads to more problems. And in a lot of cases, best thing you do is just try to be predictable and hope that everybody gets around you. But we see cars on pit road.
We do, and those are our leaders, Travis Bennett, Bunch, and Brogdon. Thomas, Walden, Japs, Murphy, Briggs, all on pit road. We'll stay with our pit road camera, try to figure out exactly who makes it first off the pit road.
And it's going to be
Good
Bennett.
stop. Huge. That was a 14.47 stop, one of the fastest stops of the night, if not the fastest 4-tire change. Now, what may all play into that, I don't know what their fuel situation is he may not have to have taken on a lot of fuel.
I'm going to kind of figure here that those that pit there, unless they have something happen as far as damage-wise, I don't anticipate them coming back down pit road at this point.
No, you're right. That should be it. With 70 to
Yeah.
go, I mean, they obviously made it to the first stage, or I guess the only stage break in the race, and that was 84 laps. So, we got some checking up going on right there.
So that has reshuffled the field for the umpteenth time tonight, putting the 94 of Michael Whitley out in front, followed by Eric Jeffers, Jordan Wenzel, Josh Douglas, and Simon Magnan now up to 5th. And those 3 guys up front, well, it's definitely the guys in 1st and 2nd. They would like to stay there for sure. So I think what's also happening here, guys, is with 70 laps to go, and this is our 18th caution, a lot of guys burn through their fast repairs relatively early tonight. And what's left now with these incidents and this type of contact, you're going to wind up with a lot of broken toe links and damage, and may cause you not to continue. We now have 3 cars that have retired. 6 of Dan Hughes, Jason Hale, and the 72 of Jonathan.
Yep. I mean, the speaking about that, the 94 has damage too. He hasn't taken that quick repair, but we got the guy behind him, Wentzel has. So green flag back in the air. Good jump for Whitley. He is one of those drivers from the outside looking in, trying to make his way into the next round. As Jeffers battles hard on the outside, as we go maybe 3 wide into turn 3. I hope not. But Jeffers is not giving up that second place spot.
He's trying to hold on to it through the backstretch.
Got a heck of a run at it too.
Yeah, still not
Car
giving
around
it
on the
up.
backstretch.
Caution's back
32.
out for Eric Thomas.
He's already got it back straight and moving.
He's coming down pit road. Can't tell with his paint scheme. Looks like he may have some damage.
Yeah, I think there's some pretty good front end damage. I think he hit that inside wall pretty hard. Kind of curious to get back and see what exactly happened, if there was something that came off of 2, or if he just got loose off of 2 and
Well, we
got it
have
spun into the
that
inside.
capabilities. Let's take a look. And
There's another curb. I think he hit the curb. He might have just got a little loose. Yep. Yep, and that's a hard hit to that inside wall. That's probably going to be some major engine damage. If he hadn't had a fast repair at this point, he may be out of the race.
yeah, he is definitely still on pit road. Looks like he has not executed a fast repair, so he must have burned it earlier. He's past 45 seconds, so he may have some significant engine damage. Well, unfortunately, that may be another retiree tonight, but attrition is happening here on the track with the incidents that we've had, plus the damage that can occur with a track like this. See these drivers begin to fall off. They can't get repairs made.
Yeah, it's kind of weird with these cars. It's like they're incredibly robust until they're not. Like the actual like framework is quite robust, but those toe links are so sensitive that it doesn't take much of just a perfect hit, and you're out of the race.
What I'm completely baffled by is that because of the way that these cars are built and they're designed, that getting when you flat spot or you lose tires, you're on flat tires. These cars are toast. They can't tow them properly. They can't drive them back. God forbid you're in the grass because you're never going to get out. There's just no way. It seems to be right now just a major overall issue, which I had hoped that they would fix after last year, but no, not yet. Well, with 63 laps to go, this is our 19th caution of the night. Now, I'm not going to say that's a record because it's not, but we're getting close into the higher. Is it 24, John? What's the number?
It is. It's 24. It's 24.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, with 62 laps, divide that by 5. Yeah, there's a chance.
We're on pace.
Yeah.
Trends, right?
That's right. Did you say there's a chance? Yes.
Yes, we did.
Going back green here.
62 to go right now. It'll be 61 to go at the line. Top 6 are playoff drivers, all battling for that all-coveted win. Green flag back in the air. Whitley gets a huge jump as Eric Jeffers still tries to battle that 81 on the high side. Oh, we got a big lockup in the middle of 3 and 4.
Yeah, that was Corey Bunch. Corey Bunch dove and picked up some spots, but unfortunately he carried so much speed in the corner, ended up locking it up. 12 tagged the safer barrier, sucked him back.
Yeah, second to middle line. I mean, that line works. Better than I thought it would. Oh, 94 locked it up a little bit there on entry. Will's able to keep right alongside that 81 of Jordan Winsel, so we'll see what happens now. As second and third place still battle side by side. I like the 12's position here. I think he should stay up high. Keep on doing what he's doing. He may get around the 94.
Well, if the 94, now typically when you see that mistake happen, where that guy locks up his tires, it tends to, with the centrifugal force, kind of forces him out to the outside, potentially backing up that outside lane. So I think you've got to get to that inside line eventually.
I think he does, but he's still going to try to go to the outside because he knows the 94. Oh!
A little bit of bobble.
What a great battle for the lead we have up here. Top 5 drivers really duking it out here for the end of this race.
12 got really tight on entry. He's in the wall.
Yep.
94 locked it up. 12 spinning.
12 going around.
Hard hit. Jeez.
That's the 14 T-boned.
Another couple cars on the inside wall.
Man, that's two playoff drivers right there.
30 in the 43 post-incident spin. 12 got tagged, I think, in the driver's side door. That's pretty good. A driver's side door damage. He got T-boned. Oh,
I think that left front is killed.
Yeah, that left front is dead.
I really hope he has a fast repair left.
We're gonna follow. We're gonna follow him in, see what we see.
We've been following him all race long, guys, and he's been, battling up front. He's one of those drivers from the outside looking in. So, for battling's sake, in his race, I hope he still has a quick repair left. I believe he did.
He's off pit road. Looks like he's good to go. Great job saving that faster pair.
Absolutely. All right. Unfortunately, that has cycled the 12 back pretty far in the field. He's now sitting in 14th. But there's plenty of laps left here in Martinsville. 53 here to go. The 94 is again up in the front, staying there. But this time he will have the 81 to his outside.
Yeah, I think that outside may be able to roll here. If he can kind of get there. That 94 has been out there for quite a while on those old tires. Of course, he has that damage on the front end. And he was locking up that right front quite a bit getting into the corners. I think he might have something for him. I'd definitely keep an eye out for that 81 of Wenzel. For sure on this restart.
And you've got the tag team of Bennett and Bunch right behind you. So anything could happen. We'll be on lap 200, I think, when we come back. Or 201.
Yep. And as we were talking, the trends are holding true. So,
We didn't talk too much about Brogdon, who broadsided the 12. He's just getting out of the pit. He went in. He's had a normal pit time of about 15 seconds, but not quite sure what his damage may have been. Again, a lot of these guys used up their quick repairs early on. Luckily, the 12 saved his. But unfortunately, he's back in 12th spot. I'm sorry, 14th.
all right, here we go. Back to racing here at Martinsville. 51 to go. Green flag back out. Whitley to the point. Whittle spun.
Kept it straight. I don't think he got a whole lot of damage. That could have been way worse for sure.
Aye.
I think he was looking to try to get down to that inside line as soon as he could, and there's a car there.
There's contact.
I don't know. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Got it again from the 01. Let's go 01. All right. Well, that's our 21st caution of the night. 48 laps to go. That caution brought out by a spin by the 81 in contact with the 01 of Travis Bennett. I don't think we had much damage with these drivers, but certainly maybe a little bit of hurt feelings.
So Martinsville's for, right? Get everybody riled up before the playoff at Phoenix. Have a few storylines, something to talk about.
Absolutely, and Phoenix is not an easy track in itself. It's a lot of fun. It's a definitely a unique shape for NASCAR. And in my opinion, I missed the older car at Phoenix. It sort of did a whole. In my opinion, it was a whole lot more fun to drive through the dogleg.
Yeah, for sure. This car, you have to be super careful, especially with this fixed setups. It can get really loose for sure on that dogleg. Certainly led to a couple of cautions in the IWM event that we had there.
Absolutely. Well, the field's forming back up. The lights are about to come off, probably off that pace car soon. 46 laps to go. Now, Michael Whitley last period on lap 155. Everybody else behind him, 178. So, of course, with the amount of cautions we've been under, I'm not sure that has any value anymore.
Not sure at all. But here we go. Leaders double file, 45 coming to 44 to go. And we're back to green flag racing here again. Whitley, Bennett, Walden, Bunch, and Winslow, your top 5.
No one clear to the bottom. Great job by Travis Bennett trying to get down to that bottom line. Now he can kind of really work on that 94 of Michael Whitley. He may be able to sneak a nose there on the inside on this corner. Yes, he is.
Oh, he got it.
No!
He saved it. He saved it. What a save by the 94. But here comes the 43 machine of Garrett Walden.
Yeah, good job by the 01. I know he got into him, but giving the 94 a chance to actually catch that car, and the 81 and one. Yep.
No caution. No caution. We're still green. Oh, the 01's around now, but he saved it, but he stopped, and we are under caution.
Man, what a drastic change of events that restart was. You can definitely tell we're starting to get down to the end of this race, and temperatures are going to start flaring, and heat's going to pick up. Well, a little bit of give and take we may have had early on, you're not going to get that.
Well, it's also, I would have to say, you've been at this, you've been in your cockpit for a few hours now. Concentration begins to wane. It's a long night. Looks like we've got some left front damage on that 81.
Not only that, but it's almost a compounding issue with the cautions, because I know what it's like. You're sitting there and you restart, and if the caution comes out immediately, you really can't make up a whole lot of positions. So you're looking at the laps counting down here, and you're looking at, I've only made up 1, maybe 2 positions over the course of 50 laps, and we have, 40 to go here? You got to really start making something happen on these restarts, because you may not get a good long run,
Yeah, we haven't had one long run all night.
Yeah.
So it doesn't look like the 81 of Wenzel had already burned his fast repair. So he's in the pits trying to get some repairs done, but that's just time now.
Yeah, I remember he was one of the ones. Yep, yeah. Absolutely. He was one of the ones that used it early on. And but like I said, he was plus 31 going into this race. I would like to believe, especially with the finish he had in the stage, and he's out. So it doesn't seem like he had a whole lot of mandatory repair. He may be able to limp around here for a little bit and stay on the lead lap.
I think he's gonna go a lap down.
Okay. Well, still, I imagine that he'll probably be able to get that lap back. Here, I don't want to say here shortly.
Well, he's going back in.
Yep, get a little bit more repair done.
You can see how much damage is done to that left front quarter panel. Fortunately, it's probably more significant than we realize up here in the booth. So here we are, lap 213 in the books. 38 laps to go, probably 35 by the time we go back to green flag racing. Michael Whitley is still in charge. Good job for Michael hanging on to the lead here after a number of not only precarious restarts, but he locked it up, I think, in at least one corner, but still held it together.
Yeah, it's
See a
pretty
new
amazing.
driver.
Go ahead.
I was going to say we see a new driver up here at the front. I don't think we've seen Garrett Walden up on the front row all night. He's slowly but surely been making it up his way to the front, and looks like he has a pretty clean car from the looks of it, potentially.
Has
So,
has a clean paint scheme. That's all I know.
yeah.
But green flag back in the air, and 43 drops down, and he's going to get the door shut. Oh no, contact! We're wrecking.
Oh,
Big wreck. 30's involved. Actually, that was not a big wreck, which is incredible to say. That only took out 2 cars. One kept it going. 30 wasn't able to do it.
94 still kept it together. Unfortunately, I think that a number of folks were involved. Jeff Brogdon, Alex Murphy, and Garrett Walden.
yeah, you saw the 43 was really hoping and trying to get down to that inside line. But the 01 was there, and the 01 was already kind of committed to being on the brakes and diving in as hard as he was. So good job by the 01 actually trying to take it onto the curb to stay off of him, but in the end it just wasn't enough room.
That's actually the 93 of Corey Bunch.
Okay,
They have
thank you.
similar paint schemes, but still. Yep. Oh, the 14 just comes up into the 43. Trying to avoid its own damage. But definitely there was some contact with the 14. I'm not sure there's any limits on incident points.
Oh, I haven't even thought to look at that, Rick. I don't see any incidents at all, which obviously not the case. It may be a data thing on my end, or they may not be using any penalties. I don't see anything. Yep, incident count penalties, none. Incident count DQ limit, no limit. And so.
Okay.
Yep.
So if you're listening and you're not quite sure what we're talking about, is that part of iRacing is that when you make contact with the car or the retaining wall, it'll add an incident point or 2 points, or if it's contact with another car, up to 4 points. And very often in races, the leagues will set the maximum number of incident points you can have before you either have to serve a penalty or potentially you get disqualified. But these admins knew exactly what they were doing when they set up this race, and basically said, nope, we know we're going to bump, we're going to bang, we're going to not have any limits on that. So here we are, 32 laps to go. This race is winding down. Michael Whitley, now that's another potential interesting playoff implication. So just speculating, bring up those points again. Michael Whitley is back here. He is 66 points out of the chase, but with a win, that would really shake up some points.
Yeah,
He should be in, yeah.
Not sure if there were stage points there or where he finished in the stages.
What we do know is the last time he came down pit road was lap 155. Whitley, same thing with Douglas. Green flag back in the air here. 30 laps to go at Martinsville. Gloves are off. They've been off for a while as the sun falls here on the speedway.
But again, this is a win and you're in kind of deal here. So it doesn't matter how many points Whitley is out, if he wins, he's in.
Exactly. Bunch is going to give him a run for his money here going into turn one. You know, Corey Bunch is locked in. He has 2 wins this round. Could he make it a clean sweep? I don't know, but the field stacks up on the bottom line. As Whitley is in full protect mode right now. He is, I wouldn't say he's in control of his own destiny, guys, but he can do only as much as he can with, you know, a little bit older tires and a hungry pack of dogs behind him.
Well, definitely you saw a puff of smoke out of the back of that 43 as it locked its tires up coming into the corner. But where our eyes are all watching this battle up front between Michael Whitley and Corey Bunch. It's like, if I had to guess, it was like Corey Bunch is just like stalking his prey here, looking where is he going to exploit? The outside, the inside? Where is he going to go?
I mean, exactly. I mean, Bunch doesn't want to see another driver in this playoff. He wants to go and carry momentum. I mean, a win for Bunch is almost even bigger win, comparatively to the other drivers, because if he wins, that's 3 races in a row. Momentum matters. So here we go to the outside, guys. He's there. He has the run.
He's in the wall a little bit.
94. Caution's out. He had the lead at the caution, I believe.
Not sure. It's currently, interestingly enough, looks like Jeff Brogdon may have been the cause of that caution, but Corey Bunch is, I think he is scored in the lead. All right, let's take an opportunity to go back. Let's find Mr. Brogdon. That Matt Black, number 14, has seen its share tonight for sure.
Oh.
Yep. Well, not much of his doing there. Just a little bit of contact and unfortunately caused him to come around. But really for Brogdon, he had nothing to lose. He's already in on points. So he's just out here enjoying the camaraderie and the sportsmanship, just having a good time. Corey Bunch, however, he has now taken over the lead with just 22 laps to go. The guy behind him, let me rephrase that, the 2 guys behind him, Whitley and Travis Bennett, both need to win to get in. Bennett is on the bubble. Whitley is pretty much out unless he wins the race. That's not the guy you want to have behind you. Well, again, we thank you for tuning in to the IWM Broadcast Network, whether you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook, whether you're watching it live or tuning in at a later date to watch this event tonight. We appreciate you. We ask that you like and follow along, so if you happen to discover us, you can be notified of future events. We'll be back full time on Wednesday and Thursday nights after the turn of the year for our 2024 season. Next week, we're here at Phoenix for the iNASCAR the iNASCAR Season Championship held at Phoenix. So we're going to go back to green flag racing with probably 18 laps to go. We're still under caution here. The lights are almost off on the pace car. This being the final playoff event.
Yeah, but it looks like the 93 will be taking the outside line here.
That's very interesting, yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, it just puts you in a slightly vulnerable spot going into turn 1. Because if the 94 gets any kind of a jump, it'll be an interesting battle, obviously, down in the turn 1. But here we go. 19, 18 to go at the line. Green
Oh.
flag back out. 94 did not get a good restart, but the 93 of Corey Bunch is out front.
Very interesting. Did he jump in front? Let me go back and look at a replay. Did he beat him? Oh, the eighth is around. All right, 25th caution tonight is out. You know, let's go back real quick on that restart just to... Let's watch this restart here. I don't know, guys.
Are you trying to see if he jumped before the box?
Well, no, he's the leader. He's good to go. I'm just surprised the 94 didn't go.
Yeah.
It looks like, yeah, it's like a checkup.
Yeah, exactly. Interesting. All right, our 25th caution is out for a spin with the I think the 8 car.
Yes, that is correct. Yep, that was the 8.
I think he had some help by the 42. Nope, the 12. Little tap tap. A bit of a hard impact on that right rear.
Yeah, the 12 was probably seeing these laps count down. He's like, I don't have time to to play nice with anybody. We got to go, you know.
Yeah,
I know he didn't. I know obviously wasn't intentional on wrecking him, but he's definitely not going to give as much of room as if he would have earlier in the race.
Well, I think these restarts really are challenging because you know, you've got that sense of urgency. You've got to get up to the front, and you're at the mercy of that guy who is behind you. And now with, you know, we'll go back to green with like 12, 11 laps to go. It's going to be some desperate acts here.
It's going to be a brawl.
Yeah, I mean, the 94 needs to win. He's going to be lining up on the inside of Bunch. He's going to need a much better restart than the last time, for sure.
You think he's going to choose the outside again?
Seemed to work last time.
Yeah, it did, but only just barely, it seemed. I mean, the 94 charge isn't on in there. You've got no choice but to let way.
I think he caught the 94 sleeping.
Yeah,
he was
just hanging
back. And then it looked to me like Bunch actually let off just a tad bit and then went full on the gas, and that checked up the outside line as well. But we'll see it here. You know, the 94 is still holding back. He needs to get up there.
He does. Just 12 to go at the line. Every spot matters. Wow. Big jump for the Mr. Bunch machine. Outside line didn't get a good jump, but that lets Whitley get to the back doorstep. Corey Bunch going down to the turn 1, coming out of turn 2. 11 to go at the line. Corey Bunch, 2 wins this round. Can he make it a third?
Michael Whitley needs to win. He's sitting in second. He's going to use everything he can to get up there and attack Corey Bunch with 10 laps to go.
Eric Jeffers now on the move. He's made it up to P5 in that number 12 discount tire Ford.
He's got the 42 of Tony Japs in front of him. Again, hard to pass here at Martinsville.
Unless another caution comes out, this could be the race right here. 8 laps to go at the line. 12 car now trying to go underneath the 42, going into turn 1. He slides up the track. They're side by side. Yep.
Jeffers on the move. Gets around the 42. Sets his sights on the 01 of Bennett, but Bennett's got about a full second ahead of him. Back up front, Corey Bunch begins to stretch out his lead even further, now over a second and a third over second place Michael Whitley. Whitley has his hands full with the 01 of Travis Bennett.
Yep. Jeffers might get to second and third place before this race is over. Don't know if that's going to be enough for him to lock himself into the next round.
Go far around
right in the back. And it's going to be a caution. 5 laps to go. Uh-oh.
Garrett Walden. Looks like a single car incident.
I'm going to guess curb. Maybe not curb?
Throttle. Yep, just loose off the
throttle.
Yep.
Hard hit.
I'm looking at this now. If Corey Bunch takes that outside once again, I mean, Michael Whitley's kind of got every time he's kind of got the jump, he's getting caught sleeping every time. I kind of got to think that he's almost just got to predict better. Like even if he predicts wrong, he goes too early, and has to yield it at that point. I think he's just got to go for it. You know, the 93's been kind of going late in the box. He's got to predict that jump a little bit better and stay on that inside.
Well, also you have the 12 that's going to be right behind him. Actually, no, the 12 will be on the high side, actually, behind Corey Bunch. So, I mean, the 12 of Jeffers actually is praying that Corey Bunch goes to the high side, because it doesn't matter. It's not going to flip from third on back, position-wise. So, yeah, I mean, the loser here actually is going to be the Bennett machine. Travis Bennett there in the third place spot, trying to get behind. If the Corey Bunch machine goes to the high side, he'll be stuck behind the 94.
Well, this will be a green-white checker here. Not sure how many we have.
Yeah, I just don't think he can. I don't think he can afford to have it where he reacts to the start of the 93. I think he's just got to go, and hope he doesn't jump the start. But even if he does jump the start and he gets penalized for the admins, well, it was worth a shot, you know. But I think that's his only chance of making it to Phoenix for the race, with the way the points are right now and with his position that he's in. I think that's his best shot.
Especially since the last 3 or 4 restarts where he's been to the inside of Corey Bunch, he's started at least a half a car back each time. I mean, that's he's penalizing himself for not being up there.
Yep. And we only have 3 green-white checkers, so, you know, looking at the information here, we do have 3 official green-white checkers. So that's you got 3 shots at this. I'm going to pay attention to the 12 car on this restart, because he's going to be, if Bunch goes to the high side, going to be behind Corey Bunch. Bunch does go to the high side. I mean, Eric Jeffers is in the absolute best place to possibly steal this win with what we've seen on the inside line. So all I got to say is it's probably going to be chaos here going into turn 1 with 2 to go. Pace car dips down.
He's still laying back
for the final time.
He's still laying back.
Just a little bit.
He may be trying to get a little bit of a run.
Oh, he didn't do it. Neither did the 12.
12's kind of in the
contacting
wall
the
a little
wall.
bit.
Yeah.
Oh no! What happened to Bunch? What happened to Bunch? Michael Whitley out front here.
12
We're wrecking.
spins.
The white flag.
Oh,
white
caution.
flag.
Nope.
You gotta be kidding me.
Caution came out.
waiting.
Oh, that's the
Wow.
last thing Michael Whitley wanted to see was that caution flag fly with the 12 of Jeffers going around.
I think Corey Bunch just overdrove the corner into one, and slid up the track a little bit and opened the door for the 94.
Maybe go take a look back at that, Rick. See what happened on the restart because. Okay, well, here's a 12.
Do you want to go all the way back to the restart?
We can just watch the whole sequence unfold from the restart to see what happened. Yeah, because that Corey Bunch was the leader, obviously, and figure out what happened in the turn one, then figured out what happened in the turn three.
Restart. Whitley's hanging back a little bit.
So you got such a good restart that I'd be surprised if you overdrove that corner.
He comes down right in front.
So he just slides up, doesn't get to the bottom like he needs to, and that opens the door for the 93 or the 94.
The 12 gets pinched. Let's follow that 12. I think the 42 closes the.
Just barely tags him.
Yep, that's unfortunate.
Don't think anybody else got involved, though.
No, but that cycled back the 12 to like last. Eric Jeffers is going to restart at the tail end of the field. His day is effectively done.
It is. But you know whose day just got 10 times better was the 94 machine of Whitley. You know, Michael Whitley, he's on 23 lap old tires comparatively to the field. Everybody else came down on about 178 for the top five, essentially. Whitley came down on 155. Also, the pace car is way up there. Just randomly noticing that. But with Whitley there, he is absolutely 100% in control of his own destiny. Now, the thing is, what's going to happen behind him? Who's going to make the move? Who's going to try to get the win? You know, Bennett doesn't need a win technically. Well, maybe he does. No, he's in fourth, so he definitely could use a win to boost himself in the next round. Corey Bunch is 1-2 out of this round. So if I wish we had a heart rate monitor on that 94 machine because he is sitting 7th in points, 66 to the bad as this race started, and he's leading the race with 2 to go.
Yeah, he's the dark horse.
I mean, this is why we love Martinsville, and this is why we love this is the last race of the season.
He chose the inside line here.
Yeah,
gotta protect.
Well, he's been good all night on that inside line.
He's the control car.
Oh,
green flag's out.
He got a good bump by the 01.
Oh, we're wrecking again. 81
Oh,
sideways.
no. Oh.
Man, that was a hard hit. And 17's around 2 under caution. Kept it going forward.
That's the third. Is this going into the third green white checker? Or
Going
is that
into the third, yep.
So is that going to...
That's Martin Giroux and Jordan Wenzel both involved in that incident.
So this should be our last one. Yep, this is the final green white checkered. 81's been spun there at that part of the track, I think, twice tonight.
But he made it all the way back up to the front, tagged by the 79.
I mean...
Oh, hard hit, and then T-boned by the 50. The 79 turned him right into the wall. That's Scott Thomas. I'm not sure if that damage may be too much for the 81 to continue.
It almost looked like he was trying to back up his corner a little bit comparatively to the 79. It was kind of interesting to watch.
But you now got both Jeffers and Wetzel back at the tail end of this field. Well, that puts us with this is our last green-white checker, which pretty much says whatever happens, happens. And it is what it is. And that's two in one sentence. Two metaphors. Meaning that no matter if the caution comes out, that order is the order. If caution doesn't come out, you're racing wreckers or checkers.
I think if the 94 gets the jump he needs, it'll be tough for the 01 to get there, I almost feel.
Well, the funny part was that, that whoever's lined up behind him, I think it was the 01 at that last restart, it was like he didn't go. And the 01 said, "Oh, you're going." And he tagged him, and he bumped him forward.
I mean, this is coming, right down to the wire. The 94. I mean, this is a playoff story, for the books for this league. You got a guy sitting seventh, basically 66 points to the bad. Can't do anything else other than win. And here he is, 2 laps to go, out front with Corey Bunch behind him on the restart. That is obviously won 2 out of the 3 races this round. You got Travis Bennett, who is 14 to the good now, so that's what I'm looking at here, because the difference between Jordan Wenzel and Travis Bennett is 17 points. Wenzel's all the way back in 15th. If you do some of the math there, if Michael Whitley wins, I don't know who's going to get that last spot, if it's going to be between Jordan Wenzel or Travis Bennett. So literally every position matters. But here we go for the final time, guys. Whitley, Bennett. Oh, outside line, got the jump.
Great start for the 01. Is he going to be able to charge to the outside like he's done before? He's been able to make it work.
94 kept it there. Here we go, battling into turn 3. Whitley. He's sliding up.
Oh, contact with the outside wall.
White flag. 01 dove it in very deep that time. Whitley hit the apron. I guess the curb. Oh, it's coming out of the last corner, guys. Whitley and Bennett for the win. Whitley slides up, gets into Bennett.
No, he's going to do it.
He's going to do it.
Wins the race, 42, contact 79, wrecking behind. But the winner, Michael Whitley.
Wow. Oh, what a win. I mean, that locked him into the championship 4, guys. I mean, I am completely in shock. I can't believe that actually just happened.
And the thing that makes it better than anything is that was, in my opinion, everything is considering for Martinsville, that was clean. That restart, he got a good run on the outside and he kept it there. And they bumped and banged a little bit, but they didn't wreck each other.
Exactly. That's exactly what you want. The respect was there, and that's going to put Corey Bunch in second with his teammate Travis Bennett in third. We know that the 3 playoff drivers that are going to advance are Corey Bunch, Jeffrey Brogdon, and now that guy, number 94, Michael Whitley. At that last spot, it's going to be between Jordan Wenzel and Eric Jeffers.
Well, it was a long, hard fight here at Martinsville, but finally, after 260 laps, maybe more, this race has been decided. Let's bring up that final results. There you have it. Michael Whitney is your winner. Corey Bunch in second. Travis Bennett finishes in third. Tony Japs finishes in fourth. Jeff Brogdon in fifth. Scott Thomas in 6th, Josh Douglas in 7th, Simon Magden in 8th, Alex Murphy in 9th, Garrett Walden in 10th, Martin Pinnell in 11th, Martin Giroux in 12th, Eric Jeffers in 13th, Jeremy Briggs finishes in 14th, Jordan Wenzel finishes in 15th, Eric Thomas in 16th, Dan Hughes 17th, Jason Hale in 19th, and Jonathan, and I'm going to screw it up, Devernisk is finishing in 19th position. All right, well, stay tuned. We'll get the your podium finishers here in the booth. We'll give them a chance to talk briefly before the end of the race. But guys, this is just, you want to say a Cinderella story, but pretty much it was. Here's a guy who was pretty much last in the point standings, wins the race, and vaults himself into the final round.
Yeah, I mean, it's, with Jay Schultz not being a part of it, he was the last guy. I mean, everybody else, I guess, technically could have gotten in by points, but Michael Whitley, 66 points out, gets the win to lock himself into the championship four. I cannot wait to call next week's race. It's going to be exciting. Can't wait to talk to Michael Whitley. Hopefully he comes up in the booth, Rick and Ryan.
Well, let's bring Travis Bennett up. Travis can tell us a little bit about it. Travis, congratulations on your P3 finish here at Martinsville.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Are you exhausted?
Yeah, I just missed second. I got the second most wins, and I just missed the final four, so not too happy.
Oh man! So we haven't seen the final points. Is that, I guess, unfortunately, you know that's how it's played out.
With Michael winning, it advances him. Yeah.
Well, I'm
So
sorry to hear out that how your night finished. You certainly were battling Michael towards the end there for sure.
Yeah, I was surprised I was able to keep it up high there, and I don't know if I sent it in there a little too hard and it got loose, or I know he came up, but I don't know. I was hoping we'd be able to drag race it out, but it is what it is. I just really wish. I really hate this point system, man. Bringing it back to just straight up points, and me and Brogdon would have went in with minus 1 point from each other.
Wow. Well, it is what it is. Unfortunately, at this stage, but we appreciate the night you showed us tonight. You were hard charging and great racing, pretty much consistently all night long.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming out. Hopefully, we get y'all to come out for next season.
That's the plan. So, anybody you'd like to thank, or any sponsors?
I just want to thank everybody for an amazing season. This was pretty much the funnest season I've ever had in a league race, man. It's been a blast. Like I said, every race has a story, and this season had a lot of stories.
Absolutely, yeah. We had the pleasure of watching you guys go for all of your cut races, and it was a blast. So we look forward to covering you guys next week, and then, as we talked about earlier, next season. So hang on, we're going to bring the rest of your teammates in here. Let's go bring in Mr. Corey Bunch. Corey, congratulations on your P2 finish.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
That was a long race. A lot of cautions, obviously. You're well aware of that. Definitely a challenge, but you held it together. Restarts were very interesting. I'll give it that.
Well, I think I was going to be kind of a lose situation, but I thought better, like in those last few restarts, I knew Travis was better than Whitley in those runs. So if I were to sort of keep Travis behind, I would have been good. That was my whole thought process on that. And then I think it was that I can't know if it was the first green white checkered or what it was. I just got in there and I felt the car got swirly and Whitley just capitalized. It's just sucks because I was going for 3 in a row. But hey, I'll take a second. Just congrats to Whitley. I mean, that's amazing to be below the cut line and punch his ticket in. That's awesome.
Anybody you'd like to thank or mention?
I just got to thank Full Throttle Motorsports once again for the teamwork. Got to thank Scott, Josh, and Matt for everyone at the league. Despite all the cautions, this has probably been the most cautions we probably had, and golly, and actually less a little bit because most of the time we have pass races that's like 4 at the most, not counting the stage breaks. So this here was just a wadded up mess, but it's Martinsville. So I mean, what can you do? But I mean, this '93 team, I'm still stoked about compete for a championship, and we're going to throw the kitchen sink at it. Compete for this title.
All right, congratulations on your P2 finish. That's Corey Bunch. Before I hang out, we're going to bring in your winner, Michael Whitley. Congratulations, Michael, on a heck of a battle.
Thank you, guys. It was fun, nerve-wracking, everything. I hate this track. I hate short tracks in this car because we put on shows like that. But I think the end of the race finish between Travis, myself, and Corey was pretty good.
Yeah, going into those restarts, what were your thoughts? I know that you obviously had lane choice, and you continuously stayed on that lower side. Obviously, Corey picked the high side when he was had that option. What was your thoughts going in that last green-white checker?
Yeah, I was going to stay with the low side just because I could protect the bottom. When Corey was taking the high side there, it put me at a more of a disadvantage than me being on the high side because the way I have my camera angle set up, I can't see to the outside of me very well. So I thought he had me. He pulled me on those 2 restarts, and then that third one just got loose enough, so I could stick it up underneath of there. And then I wasn't going to let Travis have the bottom. We battled a little bit earlier in the race with about 40 to go, and I mean we about wrecked each other, but I wasn't giving up the bottom.
Gotcha. Well, congratulations. Any sponsorships or shout-outs tonight?
No, I mean just to FDM. I feel like last time I was up here talking to y'all, we finished 1 through 5, and tonight we went 1 through 4. So it's nice to see all of us running up front. We all 6 of us kind of ran up front all race, so it was good to see.
Absolutely. So now you've punched your ticket to next week for Phoenix. We'll see you there. We're broadcasting that race here on the IWM Broadcast Network. So tell me about Phoenix. What are your thoughts going into Phoenix?
That it's better than we had in the spring. The spring was just a tear. It was bad for the league as a whole, but just it's a short track, weird short track feel, and it's going to be all about just like in real life. It's going to be all about where you come off pit road and how the cautions fall to where you are. It's going to be a track position game. It's one of those tracks that once you get out front, it's just hard to pass.
Yeah, as we saw here tonight in Martinsville. Well, listen, congratulations on your win and punching your ticket into next week's final race. Congratulations to your teammates, Corey Bunch and Travis Bennett, and we hope to see you guys next week.
Yep. Thanks, guys. We appreciate it. The broadcast is great as always.
Thank you very much. All right, so from the IWM broadcast team, John, Ryan, any final thoughts?
Just couldn't have asked for a better way to end obviously the races before the championship 4 with Whitley winning 66 points outside. That's just a Cinderella story right there. So excited for next week, and if you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss next week's action at Phoenix. We're going to be catching these guys. It's going to be the championship race. You do not want to miss that battling here on the iNASCAR Racing Series.
Ryan, we good?
Yeah, same thing. Appreciate y'all coming out and giving us a show and allowing me the opportunity to come in here and voice a little bit of an opinion and just give it a watch. And just congrats to Michael on his win tonight. Looking forward to next week.
All right, folks. Have a great night, and we'll catch you next week.